Shall we begin?
So it begins.
And now it begins.
So it begins.
And so it begins.
Shall we begin?
Shall I begin? Shall we begin? Shall we begin? Shall we begin?
Hello there, everybody. How's it going? Welcome back to the Fandom Collective YouTube channel. Just gonna be me today, unless some other people feel like joining in. I sent a link out to a couple places. Just doing a little short stream today. Got a couple other things to do. I'm actually trying to get back into watching some movies so I can finally start catching up again on doing things. I've been trying to catch up for a long time, but just have not been able to sit down and actually watch some stuff to make some content about. So last night was the first step once again. I seem to do this quite often now, where I try to get on a little streak here where I sat down and actually watched a full-on movie. So that one was Father Goose, which is a 1964 film. And I'll probably do like a little small review of that, like maybe like 5 minutes or so. There's not too much that I'd have to say on it in terms of reviewing it, but it was pretty freaking good. I accidentally stumbled upon it like when my mom was watching it on TV at one point, and I was just caught a few little things that happened, a couple things, and I was like, wow, that was actually kind of funny. Like one of the first things I saw was that he she slaps him, then he slaps her, and I'm like, whoa, what? They could do that? Like back in those days? And then I was just watching a little bit more of it, and I was like, man, this is actually kind of funny. So I just seriously bought the DVD. It was for a couple bucks on Amazon, and watched it yet last night, and it was freaking great. It starts out immediately. There's no wasting time. Like, there's no need to like fill up all this backstory to get into it that much. They just go right in. They show the opening credits, and then boom, we're starting. And as they're showing things happening, they're not giving us too much exposition. They're just having characters do things and telling, and that's pretty much having it explain how it is. Like them just acting as they would be is showing us all we need to about their character before we get into the main part of the story where he gets on the island. Pretty good. Pretty darn good. And from what I can tell, it seems like a lot of people that normally have seen all these old movies have not seen this one. So I feel a little smug about that, where it's like, hey, I've seen something that you guys haven't for once. Yeah, but it's pretty good. It's basically it's a World War II, and they're trying to get some citizens to be spotters on islands that can help keep track of Japanese or German airplanes or boat activity, so they can figure out where they are with positions and better position their military craft to make sure they don't get snuck up upon, pretty much. And their military forces are being expended everywhere, so they're trying to use civilians that can be competent enough to do this type of job. So this one guy, Walter, does not want to do it at all. He has no interest. He just wants to drink and be on his boat and do stuff. And they ended up kind of tricking him into being a part of it. And it's just pretty freaking great. Oh man, he ends up having to deal with this French woman and her students on this island. You would not think that would be part of the premise, but that is pretty much what makes it the movie here. And it's a great little thing from back then. There's a lot of jokes that they would not likely do these days. They would not likely do a lot of these jokes. I mean, yeah, one, he slaps a woman, she slaps him, he slaps her right back. And there's just, I don't know, the type of comedy is hilarious. Some of the, like, this little girl bites his finger and he splashes her face with a bunch of water. It's like, guys, knock that off and do this, and just pretty good. Just a nice little, good, charming little film from back in the day. So I'm going to be trying to look for some more, not necessarily in that era. Like, I haven't seen that many films that go back that far. I think the oldest thing I've seen that I can remember is probably I Love Lucy, some of that show, but not that much. And then, you go into like Gilligan's Island and the Brady Bunch, that's around in the 60s back then. But, I only remember bits and pieces of some of those old shows and episodes. But yeah, there's still so many other films that I'm trying to catch up on and get there. Another one that I recently saw was Idiocracy. And Idiocracy, I watched that with Black Angus Reviews over on the All American. Or now we're trying to call it a different type of stream where I'm actually trying to do things and trying to catch up on these films. We're going to be watching WALL-E next. We're just trying to figure out a day to sit down and watch it together because I have not seen the film WALL-E. I've only seen people's coverage of it here and there, but it's been a long time anyway since I've seen that movie, or since I've seen their coverage of the movie. So I'll be watching WALL-E pretty soon over with Angus. And yeah, we're trying to watch some not necessarily post-apocalyptic, but like post-future type of films a little bit, starting with Idiocracy and then going on to WALL-E. And then I think we'll do either one more film and then go into Raised by Wolves, or we'll just go right into Raised by Wolves. I'm not sure. And then on another note of trying to get back into things, I'm trying to find some YouTube short films to take an eye on to watch. And one of those next ones, again, that Angus recommended is Space Cops. And that's apparently a little short film that Red Letter Media guys that they made. And I'm not the biggest fan of Red Letter Media, but I don't know, they're like some of their humor is fine, I suppose, and some of their videos are all right. They talk about some of these horrible films that they're trying to get their best laugh at, pretty much, and whatnot, which is neat to learn, neat to know, I guess. And they do some of the reviews on the newer films, which are all right. I just, with all the different content creators out there and different people that cover movies, I just don't typically give those guys a watch. But they apparently did make a short film, and that does interest me, so I will try to check that out. And from what I saw in their little trailer for Space Cops, it does look pretty. One, it looks better than I would think it would be from those guys. Two, it does look pretty funny, so that'll be fun to watch. And speaking of short films, I think I heard that Chris Stuckman is going to be working on a film with somebody, working on a horror film with some other small Hollywood faction company. I'm not exactly sure. I'll have to look up more information on that. And I'm not a huge fan of Chris Stuckman and his videos either. He's kind of stale and plain with how he does his reviews, but I do know that he does love film, and that he used to shoot some short films back in the day with his friends, trying to do Indiana Jones type stuff. So it'd be interesting to see him nowadays try to shoot something, but we'll see how that goes, because he won't be the head producer on this or anything. He's just going to be trying to do whatever he can over there. Hey, what's up, Snowdub? How's it going, man? Just 1 second, guys. Going to play a little clip for you while I take care of something real quick. There we go.
Yeah, just toss us out like trash. Seems to always work out. We were there for you. For all of your stupid skits. For all of your lame reviews. And now here we are, with you again. Well, things have changed now. I think that people would actually like to see a roundtable review like we used to do. They'd love to see the Jeff Squad back together.
Okay, I'm back. I had to deal with a little thingy right there. Where was I? I was talking about some short films that people were making, other YouTubers. Yeah, so Chris Stuckman's short film. I have not... I heard that he's going to be working on one at some point, so I'd like to go and see that. I'm interested in how that's going to work, because I know he's going to be involved in it in some way, shape, or form. Hey, Snowdub and Bone in the chat. Jared from Subway. No, Jared from Subway. He does not exist anymore. Not in the real world. He is gone. Yeah, that clip it was from the Dark Jeff Squad, where they pretty much form. He's like, wow, that clip's 3 years old. I know, it makes me feel old to think about that, man. That's that old, and I haven't really made that much myself since then. And it's been kind of tough to get back into the game as far as wanting to film things, because I have the bug to be a filmmaker. I want to be making films, but it's kind of tough sometimes. And last year I was trying to make the Rookies Legends short film series, and that was going okay until COVID hit. And you wouldn't think that it would affect something as small scale as this anyway, but with all the different YouTubers I was going to try to have be in it, it did affect it. It affected it big time, because a lot of people that would have had time to film it weren't able to, because their kids were at home with them, or they were working a lot more, or working from home, and they just never had the amount of time to spare to film some of their stuff. And then for me, my filming days were restricted to maybe 1 day a week, because that was the only time that I had the whole house to myself for a while. And I wait to film things for my projects, because when there's anybody else in the house, even if they're quiet, I mean, they could be on their phone, or they could be watching TV, or they could make a noise, they could get up to go to the bathroom, or they can make any noise or whatever, and it's possible for the microphone to pick it up, and that's, you know, not very good if you're in the middle of doing some takes. And it's also sometimes distracting when there's somebody else home. So I would choose to film when there's nobody else home. But yeah, it just became too tough, and at some point I just scrapped the project back then for the Rookies Legends, and haven't really made anything since. But I've been trying to get back into the groove of it, and I'm trying to add skits into videos that I'm making now, like little short, less than a minute type of things, so that there's at least something to kind of dip my feet back in the water and get back into that groove. But until then, I'm going to be trying to perfect how I make videos for the Fandom Collective and for my channel, The Rookie Critic. I haven't posted much on either channel, honestly, and I feel like I should be posting a lot more. It shouldn't take so long to do them. The problem is I don't want to just sit down and record myself saying stuff. I usually want to script out what I'm going to say. I want to make sure that it flows well enough, that I'm covering what I need to, trying to make sure that what I'm saying is full of substance in the video, so that it doesn't seem like it's a huge waste of time or anything. And yeah, that's kind of why it's taken a while to get a lot of the videos out. Right now, I'm working on, I think, over 6 videos at the same time. I am just taking my time with them. I'm trying to dip at each one whenever I can. I'm not just trying to bust out one and then bust out another, and I'm not working on one until it's fully done and then starting the next one. Sometimes when I'm writing, I can't just sit and focus on one thing. It's kind of a, what am I in the mood for doing in that moment? And if I feel like I'm going to make a video about this one type of topic for a little bit, then that's what I'll do. And then if something else comes to mind while I'm working on that video, I'd rather go over into the next video and start working on that, or at least do some research for that and start getting that together. And now I try to be aware of what clips I might be using in my videos, so that, because I've realized this too in the past, I used to kind of just put random trailer footage or random footage of some kind over the videos and what I'm saying. And I don't like that, because it doesn't really match what I'm saying. It's just random stuff, which is like, why even bother having something shown at all if you're just not going to bother matching it to what I'm saying? So I'm trying to make sure that I know what I'm referencing and that I can actually find a clip and find a decent quality clip. Otherwise, I don't even want to use it. I want people that are watching to enjoy, to not feel like, oh man, I definitely want to click off of this. And yeah, thank you, Bone. I appreciate that. He says, quality over content is also good. Yes, that's kind of what I believe. I don't want to post videos daily, because I wouldn't be able to keep up the quality of it. And I just don't think, like, I personally don't want to report news about things going on. I know a lot of people in the community are pretty much, they're reporting pop culture news, which is fine. But I'm personally on YouTube so that I can learn more about film. And in that process, making the videos a little bit better and to the best way that I can anyway is part of that process, trying to figure out how I can make more substance out of the content that I'm trying to cover, trying to make sure that I'm not fluffing too much about certain parts, and learn how to edit a little better, because that was another thing too. I didn't have that many edits that make it a little more interesting. I didn't have that many clips to insert here and there. I just didn't think the whole video all the way through. I would write the script, but then I wouldn't think too deep into how the editing goes. I'd want to kind of rush the editing so that I can get it out. So I'd spend more time on the writing and then end up not doing as well on the video part. So I'm trying to work on that as well, trying to fine tune that. And alongside that, I'm trying to get an actual skit. Well, not really skit. I don't want to call what I do anymore skits unless they are an actual skit, like with the video. But like for my bigger projects, like the Rookies Quest and all that, I'm trying to do future ones that kind of continue that story, but are kind of in their own thing. And we'll see what happens. I have a lot of stuff established, and I have a lot of things that I can make as well. I've got a green screen nowadays, and I've learned a lot from the stuff that I've made before and seen how horrible they can be and how I can improve from all that. So I've got a ways to go. And yeah, that's pretty much the majority of what I was going to talk about today. I mean, I didn't want to talk too much about Father Goose, because I'm going to do a little review about that pretty soon. Hopefully I'll have that out by next week. I feel like if I can type that up by tomorrow, I think that I can have the script pretty well done by then, and then work on the video throughout the week. I do have a couple of videos for the Fandom Collective that I'm working on that I think you guys will really get a kick out of. If you guys saw the YouTuber appreciation of the Critical Drinker, I'm going to have a couple more YouTuber appreciation videos to work on, so I'll be doing those. I'm working on them, chipping away at them, because they're taking a while to make sure that the quality is as good as I can make those as well. I'm trying to research as much as I can about some of these YouTube channels. When I was doing the Critical Drinker one, I was trying to find something that he's had a little part in, because he said that he's done small uncredited roles in some films or TV shows. So I was trying to find at least one, and I did find one, I think. I did not have that confirmed, but I think that was the Critical Drinker. And so I like finding little tidbits and extra information that a lot of people don't know about some of these YouTubers. And one of the main things I'm doing with the YouTuber appreciation is I'm trying to find YouTubers that are not in our fandom sphere, because we know so many of them. They're always talked about all the time. And some of us at some point just want to have a different type of videos to watch, different type of content to watch. And so I'm trying to find other ones that aren't necessarily in our sphere that people can enjoy and check out some new ones, and maybe find some other channels along the way. Along with that, hey, what's up, Daytona Falls? Thanks for stopping by here. Yeah, I'm just doing a small little stream today, just chit-chatting with you guys a little bit. And yeah, I didn't really plan this one out as well. I should have had this probably set up the other day, and I was supposed to have a guest planned, but I've got some things I got to do today as well. And then going to be hopping on to the All-American Beef stream with my buddy Black Angus Reviews in a little bit tonight. It's at 6 p.m. Pacific and 9 p.m. Eastern. And yes, that's where I'll be. But right now, I kind of want to finish. There's like a few small files I can rearrange to help making the next video pretty easy. And then I also want to sit down and watch Space Cops by Red Letter Media, because Angus wanted to talk about that. And if I can watch that before our stream tonight, we can chit chat about it for a little while. And then I might try to make like a little fan film review, which I'm not sure if people want to see fan film reviews, but I don't know. I kind of feel they're tough to judge, because we know that they're not the highest quality budget little films that people are trying to make, but I do think that it's worth pointing them out. And even if there are some flaws that they have, I think it's good to still point out the flaws, even if they're obviously a short film and they have whatever issues that they're going to come up with. It's still good to point them out. Like if I ever make anything and you guys comment on them, you're like, oh man, that was actually pretty bad right here. Oof, that was horrible. I want you to say something, because if you don't say anything at all, then that kind of does worse for me in terms of, oh yeah, it was all great. It's all great. It's like, okay, thank you. You enjoyed it, but was there anything you changed or anything that I should improve on? Because that's what I always try to look for, is the improvement factor. But yeah, with that, I'm going to close out the stream for right now so I can get back to that. And yeah, I'll be trying to aim to have a video for the FC posted. I wanted to post it by this Saturday, but there's just a couple things that are getting shipped to me that I'm going to use in that video that I want to have before it's finished. So maybe by next Wednesday, maybe by next Saturday, it'll be posted, but we'll see about that. And thank you all for watching, and have a great rest of your day.